Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I can speak. It is the 27th, I think, today of January 2019. We are here on Mass Faith 3.
Is flying by. Welcome back to our European show on Mass Faith 3.
Isn't that so exciting? So we have a lot for them today. Salvini, we have Brexit, we have
different color for nail polish today.
Do you know what happened last week? I pulled out a nail polish that my mom had bought me, a cheap one, and I painted my nails before the show.
Yes, you did.
Waiting for Leah. That day today Leah was waiting on me. Oddly enough. Anyway, after the show was over, I was working in the basement, not doing very much, and I noticed that it started, I literally peeled every one of them off like a sticker. I was like, okay, no more cheap nail polish.
Maybe it's better that way. Maybe it doesn't get into your system.
Maybe, I don't know. Well, it kind of left like a stain of blue on my fingernails. Okay, so
Not
Leah,
good.
tell them what we have coming.
I have a ton of videos for you guys today. We're going to be talking through those because they're all in Spanish, Spain Spanish.
That means we get to read
Austrian.
subtitles.
Yeah. It probably would be way more exciting if they were all up on your thing, but I don't think that's going to technically happen, as a technical difficulty.
Technically, we could work on it.
Well, I haven't tweeted anything out, so I'm not exactly sure how you would find them all.
It's all open in your tabs.
Mm-hmm.
We can make that happen. Carry on.
Well, Theresa May has another vote this Tuesday. People are a little bit more confident this time, I guess, because she's made some deal with the Irish DUP.
Okay.
But I still don't think it's going to go through. And besides the fact that EU's already shut it down. But we're going to go over a few of its key different details because, hey, why not? It's not going to go anywhere. It's really not. In my humble opinion. So MPs will get a crucial vote this Tuesday on the next steps for Brexit. Comes exactly 2 weeks after Theresa May's original 585-page deal suffered the worst defeat in House Commons history. Out of the ashes of that defeat, a string of radically different Plan B options are taking shape and will wrestle for control in the Commons. The Prime Minister's own Plan B will go head-to-head with plans from Remain-backing MPs that could delay Brexit or stop it altogether. In total, there are at least 15 plans, some of which will be selected for a vote by House of Commons Speaker John Bercow. MPs will then vote on whichever options are selected at 7 p.m. on this Tuesday, January 29th. The result is crucial because if not legally binding, it will give Theresa May a mandate and a plan to bring back to the EU. So, what are the amendments that have been proposed and what will they do? The three most important ones, Theresa May's own Plan B. Theresa May has her own Plan B, which is a lot like her Plan A. Go figure. She wants to tweak her 585-page Brexit deal, including the backstop that could trap the UK under EU custom rules and then return to the EU for more talks. She could then make other demands depending on what the MPs say and vote for. The PM did not categorically rule out the customs union demanded by Labour or, crucially, extending the 29th date of Brexit. But she tried to rebuff calls for a customs union, a second referendum, ruling out no deal or extending the 29th March date of Brexit. She offered confidential briefings to MPs on the way forward, guarantees on workers' rights, and consultation with Parliament's committees. Yet key figures in the EU savaged Mrs. May Plan Bs as party politics. And Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn told MPs, contrary to what the Prime Minister just said said there was no flexibility, there will be no negotiations, nothing had changed. Delaying Brexit could be a part of it, and ditch the Irish backstop and find an alternative. There are 5 major other plans. One gives the MPs a say on all options, including a second referendum. One is take no deal off the table no matter what. Let MPs choose between 4 ways forward. And demand an expiry date on the Irish backstop, and MPs take control of the Commons timetable. So we'll see how that goes. But there was an article here. I think I forgot to.
I have all of your tabs.
Okay, but when do I want to play which one?
I don't know. I'm just saying I have them if you need them.
In Breitbart today, Breitbart London, they had two videos that I thought were striking. And one is from Labor Leave, which talks about the single market and is it crucial for jobs? Is it really crucial for jobs? And just listen a little bit. If we had volume, you could.
We do. Wait 1 second. Coming right up.
Coming right up.
Before we entered the common market, we were told by Mr. Heath that it would be a bigger market, it would improve our trade with that bigger market, it would lead to a boost in investment as a result of that bigger market, it would create jobs for our people, that was his phrase, and it would benefit the regions. Now, we've had some experience of 2.5 years in, and what they show is this, and nobody has disputed the figures because they are government figures, and they are these. In 1970, because we live by manufacture, in 1970 we sold £300 million a year.
In case you didn't understand, he said manufacture.
Of our manufactured goods to the six, more than we bought from them. In 1972, we were in balance. In 1974, they sold £700 million more of manufactured goods to us, and in the first 3 months of this year, they sold at an annual rate £937 million more than we sold to them.
So, I'm sure that a lot of you Brexiteers have watched these videos, and with Peter Shore here passionately talking about Project Fear, saying, and if you haven't watched it, you should, but I think probably all of you had, because that's probably why you voted for Brexit. And I think that this is, if I were to be a Brexiteer, I finally get it. Like, I finally understand.
What do you mean you didn't get it before?
Well, it's really hard to explain Brexit to people. They're all over the map. They're all over the wall. Even James Dellingpool, who's an author for Breitbart, got skewed last night on a BBC show because their arguments aren't like passionately like this man.
Okay, I get you.
And they don't hit the numbers. And the numbers show that Britain was a strong country, the United Kingdom, okay, I don't know, you can't say country when you're, several countries put together. Confusing to the rest of us. It's not England, it's Great Britain, it's the UK, okay, just get it. Okay, fine, there's more than one of you. It's like multiple personalities. So, the UK, United Kingdom, is great. And it was able to, at the time, before you entered into the EU, manufacture many goods. And what that means is when you're sending out more goods than you're buying in, then the people in your country, their lives are stable, their jobs are stable, and they're making a good living.
Right.
When you're balanced, you're still okay. But you're not winning, as Donald Trump would say.
We're winning. Sort of.
But when the numbers skew in the other direction to where you're importing more than you're exporting,
it's not so good.
Then the people who have jobs or have careers or have callings, whatever you want to call it, whatever you do to wake up and make a living,
right?
You're not making the same living. Your wages go down,
right,
when the balance of trade is unequal. The manufacturer, that means that somebody's manufacturing. What it means is what was before made in Britain is now made in some other European country and brought in. So when you take it down to what farmer is out of a job because you're buying some good from France.
Well, and it's not even, and I don't know why I have this frog in my throat here, but it's not even a matter of like, you're saying what farmer. These farmers are often told they can't farm or there is a limitation on it. And because of the rules of the EU, it's more than just this country's now making it and the farmer doesn't have a job. That farmer's told that they're not even allowed to farm what they want to farm.
And I'm just giving a farmer as an example. It's all across all industries, all business.
Right.
To where if you're bringing in more, then you're supplanting your own carpentry, your own car manufacturer, your own whatever that you're making, chocolatiers, I don't know, whatever it is that makes you great, that makes you say, I woke up today and I'm good at this and I get paid a decent wage.
Right.
Somebody else, if you're bringing it in from another country, then they're undercutting you and you don't have that job, you don't have that stability anymore.
Sure.
And so when Donald Trump's slogan, people are like, oh, it's a racist hat, oh, it's a xenophobic hat. When he says make
Ridiculous,
America great again, it's the same thing as Brexit, meaning, okay, in 1970 we were manufacturing and sending out more goods into the EU, meaning we had a stable economy and we respected our citizens and their right to make a living how they choose to make a living. Mm-hmm. And when, number one, you remove the choice on how you make a living. And then number two, you undercut, even if they do allow you in a certain industry to make the choice, if you're bringing it in cheaper from somebody else. But then that's where the socialist capitalists come in. And they're the commies who really don't care about how it could be slave labor or whatever. They don't care if it's made in China. They don't care if it's somebody cheaper. Okay? They're like, it's cheaper. So, you know what? I don't care about my fellow Brit. I want it cheaper. Yeah. Because then things are cheaper. No. Every person deserves to make a living wage, and every single person in your circle and your country deserves you to treat them with the same respect and dignity that you want to be treated with. And so coming out of the EU is about autonomy and personal respect, and being paid a wage or getting paid in a balanced trade of goods, to where this person put in this many hours, this is a fair amount that he should be paid for this. So that, to me, is the main crux of Brexit, and they knew it right away. Right away, within 3 years, they understood this was damaging our country. And I'll play it in a little bit here, because so you can kind of get an idea.
What we have is not only our own achievement, but what generations of Englishmen have helped us to achieve is not worth a damn. The kind of laughter that greeted the early references that I made, that what was involved was the transfer of the whole of our democratic system to others. Not a damn. Well, I tell you, what we now have to face in Britain, what the whole argument is about, now that the fraud and the promise has been exposed, what it's about is basically the morale and the self-confidence of our people. We can shape our future. We are 55 million people. If you look around the world today, I listen to Gough Whitlam and his 14 million Australians, and he trades heavily with Japan. I'm very fond of the Australians. But do you think he's going to enter into a relationship with Japan, where he gives Japan the right to make the laws in Australia? Do you think Canada, 22 million of them, and to the south, a great and friendly nation? Yes, they are. But do you think Canada is going to allow its laws to be written by the 200 million people in some union in America? No, of course not. The whole thing is an absurdity. And therefore I urge you to reject it. I urge you to say no to this motion. And I urge the whole British country to say no on Thursday in the referendum.
Okay.
It's so powerful. I had goosebumps like the whole time he was saying that. But, you know, he makes a powerful statement, and it comes straight from the Americas. Are you going to allow some body completely far away to make the rules for you? We went through this. It's called the Revolutionary War. Okay, we already lived it. And it's a beautiful thing, because you need to understand that the people here in America came from Europe vastly. Okay, so we are you. We were saying the same things. Just because you're still in Great Britain doesn't mean that it's not the same heart and passion that says, no, we're not going to have this large conglomerate or something completely distant from who we are making our laws. And that is what has happened with Great Britain being in the European Union. And it's these people that believe that it's okay that the UK should be in the European Union have been lulled into this globalist mentality that says we all need to join together, that populism is to be poo-pooed on, that it is okay for other countries to make our laws. And they don't understand the damage that is done because there are literally no checks and balances in an instance like that. You have unelected officials making laws for it's a dictatorship. Just because it's not one person, it literally is a dictatorship where it doesn't matter what you vote on in the UK, because they are going to usurp any laws that you put into place, and theirs trumps it. Okay? And that's also what is dangerously happening here in the United States, where we were a republic. And the federal government has been given too many rights.
Yes.
That can overturn the rights of the states.
Yes.
So it's really, really dangerous. What does Nigel have to say about it?
This is about our independence. It's better to vote down Theresa May's terrible deal than to run the risk of a second referendum.
This is about our independence. It's about our ability to become competitive. It's about our ability to recognise we are living in a global economy in which there is a massive transfer of power from the West to the East, and how we best fixed for the next 2 decades to deal with it. Personally, my view at the moment is better to vote down this dreadful deal and take the risk of a second referendum.
Wow, that's a really powerful statement.
Right. So, so while you're here, we're gonna play.
St. Mark says the EU makes around 2,000 laws for us every year.
All right. Are you guys ready for a little commercial break? I don't know. I'm not exactly who put this together. It's on YouTube. Tommy Robinson live stream channel. It's Tommy Robinson, Nigel Farage, Jeremy Corbyn, and Diane Abbott little comedy show.
Oh, great.
You're gonna.
I haven't seen this yet.
I'm not usually a fan of swifts, flying over here, pecking our British berries off our British bushes. There should be a migration point system to keep them out. I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Diane.
And we are UB for Corbyn.
Oh no, not another terrible double act.
This is a tribute to the Labour Party's incredible endorsement by UB40.
Haven't they split up?
UB40 or the Labour Party. They say it's time for me to go, but I don't care what all the polls show.
The Labour Party can win with you.
But how many people really think that's true? Two.
Just us two, babe.
Me and you, babe.
Are they finished?
You bet they are.
Sadly true, babe.
Stuck in 1972, babe.
It's a no from me.
It's time.
Oh my gosh.
So
I hope they do more of that.
Yeah, that
They've already
one
got
was
the
funny.
puppets together.
That was really funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Thank you for that commercial break, Leah. So whatever you have, I may have.
Okay.
I just don't even know where to find it because there's like 800
All right.
billion
So
tabs up here. I think I have that one up or had it up.
I'm actually going to go over here because this is kind of breaking news, and I probably could have put it in the title, but there were 2 bombs that targeted a cathedral, a Catholic church in the Philippines, and 8 people are dead. It's in a known Muslim militant area.
Wow.
So 2 bombs exploded outside a Roman Catholic cathedral on a southern Philippine island where Muslim militants are active, killing at least 8 people during Sunday Mass, officials said. The first bomb went off in or near the Jolo Cathedral in the provincial capital, followed by a second blast outside the compound as government forces were responding to the attacks, security officials said. Police and military reports said at least 8 people died, including 5 troops and 3 civilians. A number of people were reported wounded.
Wow.
Jolo Island has long been troubled by the presence of Abu Sayyaf militants who are blacklisted by the United States and the Philippines as a terrorist organization because of years of bombings, kidnappings, and beheadings. No one has immediately claimed responsibility. The attack came nearly a week after minority Muslims in the predominantly Roman Catholic nation endorsed a new autonomous region in the southern Philippines in hopes
Wow.
of ending 5 decades of a separatist rebellion that has left 150,000 people dead. Although most of the Muslim areas approved it, voters in Sulu province, where Jolo is located, rejected it. The province is home to a rival rebel faction that's opposed to the deal, as well as the Abu Sayyaf group, which is not part of any peace process. Western governments have welcomed the Autonomy Pact. They worry that small numbers of Islamic State-linked militants from the Middle East and Southeast Asia could forge an alliance with Filipino insurgents and turn the South into a breeding ground for extremists.
Wow.
So I wanted to kind of give you that as the update here. Sky News says that it looks like it's updated in this particular article that 21 people are now
So it was
dead.
8, and now it's 21.
Yeah. So, pardon my reading of the one article. It looks like at least 20 people have been killed and 81 injured. So it's
Oh
much
my
bigger.
gosh, that's massive.
Much bigger than the previous article said that I had read. I brought up 2 articles. I had read them, but it didn't dawn on me that there was 2 different numbers of dead there. The first bomb went off in or near the church of Jolo at Sunday Mass. This one was shorter. That's why I read the other one. So yeah, and there's not a whole lot because when I was trying to Google this and kind of find up some details, maybe some video or something, I haven't been able to find a lot. And so just say a prayer for our brothers and sisters who are Christians in the Philippines, and bind and gag Satan from attacking our Christian brothers and sisters. So the yellow vests have again marched, and I'm going to see which all right, so this video has gone viral. We're going to France here, talking about the yellow vest protests. Now remember, if this was a leftist progressive movement, the media would be backing and supporting them, but it's not. So this is the hard left's wish for all dissenters, and this is from my show is pretty much brought to you by Amy Mick. She's a God-fearing Christian who exposes Islamic terror and left-wing terrorism on Twitter. She's always getting death threats. She's always getting notifications. I don't know why she's still on Twitter or how she's still on Twitter. They doxed her. Her husband lost his job because they doxed her, meaning she was trying to keep her personage. I don't think this isn't her full name, by the way.
So here's this video.
Yeah, I can play it. Yeah.
It was. Why didn't that work?
Why didn't that work?
I don't know. Let's see. That's not it. I must have 2 of these open. Oh, you must have 2. All right, here we go. Hang on, I'll get there. Let me scroll down here. There we go. Didn't we see that last week? We've seen that video.
That isn't the video I was going to play. Actually, there was another one. Which one was I going to play? There was another one where they grabbed a woman by they hit a woman over the head.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find that one. They really banged a woman. It's kind of gone viral all over YouTube or all over Twitter. France hits a woman in the head. I think it's this one. I think it's this
On
one.
her page?
It's on her page, yeah.
Further
It's
down?
yeah. It's there it is.
Okay. Wait a minute. I keep going to the wrong... Hang on.
You have too many.
I do have too many. Let me see if I can switch this over.
That's not the one. But you can play that one if you want. Just if you're playing that one, finish that
There
one.
we go.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't have any sound though, right?
Yeah, it does.
I'm not getting sound. Do I have it muted? Maybe you guys are getting sound and I'm not. Oh, I bet it's just not. There we go.
protesters are using some leftist tactics, so I would tell you that I'm kind of on the fence on a lot of this stuff because you can stop it. But I do want to know why the EU isn't condemning President Macron's widespread human rights abuse, because one rule for me, one rule for you. When you see civil rights protesters, you go back and you say, oh, police brutality, brutality. But the EU is appreciative, I guess, of this brutality, so they're going to let it go.
Jack Russell says these are foreign soldiers.
They're using the UN.
They're using the UN, Patriot Gallery says.
UN is helping Macron, and UN and the EU are partners.
So I have another video. If you have I don't know if you have them up, but there's a woman, a French woman who speaks. I'm not sure.
Do you know about? They should be in the same exact order as yours, so I guess I can. But I have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eighth one in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if this is it. I have 2 up because you have so many.
Yeah.
That it opened up twice.
No, that's not it.
Okay, so it's 8 on the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No.
No.
Let's see.
There she is. Yeah.
Maybe you miscounted. Let's see. Let me switch over here to. Oh, for crying out loud.
I have so many videos. Some of them I'm just going to play in the background.
That's fine. You might have to go ahead because this one's not.
Okay, so we're going to read the subtitles on this woman. Stand up for truth even if you stand alone. At a town hall with Macron, one brave French mayor from a small town comprised of 65,000 dared to speak of the truth and fight for her country. So I'm going to go ahead and...
It's not actually playing anything for these people. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, okay.
I want to talk to you about social justice. Above all, I would like to thank you, Mr. President, for having decided not to hide from the debate on the subject of immigration. You want to read it?
In 2012, March 15th, Montauban, the first jihad attack committed by Mohammed.
Try that again.
Thank you.
Jihadi attack.
Did I say jihadi attack?
You said jihad.
Did I say jihad? I did not say jihadi. Yeah. Okay, everybody in the chat, did I say jihadi?
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
Committed by Mohammed Merah.
Who has, as you know,
shot.
I'm going to get there. Shot 3 soldiers from the 17th Regiment of Paratroopers of the Montauban. One survivor is a quadriplegic, lives in Les Invalides. War of wow, French people speak fast.
Yeah.
War vet at home. 8 days later, it was the Jewish school in Toulouse. You know the facts. The whole of France was touched by it. It was the first of a long list. There are subjects that I pay a lot of attention to, and I'm worried about them as well, since in the town of Montauban, which is only 50 kilometers or 30 miles from Toulouse, we have counted more or less with the prefect. We don't have a lot of information, at least 70 what?
As terrorist files.
Thank you. Those are subjects that perhaps don't exist in your reality, but which are worrisome. A year ago, a tragic event shook the town. An 80-year-old grandmother was attacked at her home, and forgive me for sharing, was sodomized by an illegal Algerian immigrant, one who was sentenced to be deported and has never been deported. Well, voila, I knew it was a sensitive subject, but I, Mr. President, allowed us to touch on this subject, and I wish to be able to invoke it in all simplicity. Evoke. And I read in the something that mass immigration has to be ended.
I hit the wrong button.
That's fine. Evoke. That was the press play there. The people who are at the roundabouts feel deprecated, forgotten by the Republic. The people who are at the roundabouts, the yellow vests, and have texts which I can give you, but I don't want to make the debate longer. They are worried because they are treated worse than those who came from elsewhere.
That, I think, is the key. The yellow vests are upset because they are being treated. Imagine if the police went after the illegal immigrants and just banged them over the head.
Right. Oh my gosh.
If you crossed over the border and they and
uproar, it would be worldwide news.
And they drug you in, and they, did all these things to you that they're doing to the Yellow Vest protesters.
Yeah.
And the Yellow Vest, I'm French. I don't have the money that I need to make it through the month.
Yeah.
But you're spending French dollars on people who illegally come into our country. And she's being reasonably magnanimous in her presentation here. Because I would be a little bit more angry.
Yeah, right. They express themselves with their 3 colored flags at those roundabouts. They express themselves by singing the Marseillaise when they're marching. I don't know how to pronounce that. They aren't all vandals, rioters. I hosted them in my town hall. Those are poor people. Those are poor people, but who feel they are being treated badly, forgotten, for instance. In the countryside, for example, when they send their children to school, in the schools where their children are minority French speakers, when, let's for example talk about the unaccompanied minors, those minors who come from elsewhere, well, we can see that for our own minors who have problems and whom should be able to place.
I guess there's more to it that stops there. But,
all right.
Yeah. And I think that she really spells up and kind of gives you a human voice to the protesters. Always sees the protesters, but why are they protesting?
Right.
Why are because they're poor? And
well, because the elderly are being sodomized, and then when they even catch the guy,
right,
he's not deported.
Yes, exactly. I have a lot of videos today, thanks to Amy here, and if you have this one, we can bring it up. This video was blocked on YouTube instantly. She's like the 3rd one in.
Must be on the other one.
Video. You have no compassion on your fellow mankind. You don't understand their needs. You're going to do what you're going to do no matter what. And I do have some articles where we're going to talk about France and Germany coming together. I'm going to close out some that we've already played so we can kind of keep on point here, because a lot of really interesting things to show you guys. But I think I want to show you, or what I want to show you next is Angela Merkel. And here we go. You might be able to find it, Michelle, on the previous page towards the middle, towards the right. This is Channel 4. Hopefully we don't get kicked off for a minute and 50 thing clip from Twitter. But we should talk a lot during it.
Was it to the right of that one?
I don't think you're on the right ones.
Okay.
I think you need to be at the other one. There it is.
It was not this video, though.
No, keep going towards right in the middle. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. Where you see, keep going. Angela Merkel and Macron coming together to make their, you play this one first, that's fine.
Okay.
Play that one first, and then there's one right next to it.
Okay. Hang on, we're on the wrong one again.
Because this is the beginnings of Nazism. This is the beginning of fascism. This is the beginning of their totalitarian control over Europe, where you have Germany saying, "Hey, let's not take over France by force. Let's put in a mama's boy, baby Macron, and then we can just make him do what we want him to do." I think that might be.
That's the right one. All right, let's
domination of the other European countries.
Exactly.
I mean, we're looking at a civil war happening here within the European Union nation.
It's not going to be so civil.
No, it's of all others. Okay? Donald Trump and the populism of Orban and Salvini and Bolsonaro in Brazil is we're not going to be nation conquerors. When you hear globalism, that is nation conquering words.
Right.
And literally, the left says that the right and the populist movement are Nazis. It is literally backwards. It's the most insane thing that you can ever partake in, because the left are literally Nazis.
But they do it because most people just listen to the talking points.
They're
not doing
fascists.
any of the research. So if they just hear, okay, they're the Nazis, they're the fascists, then they let these people understand that if they just label the wrong people their own personal labels, other people will believe it, and they will be able to get by with everything that they're doing
over and over again.
Right.
Then people will begin to believe it. A lie repeated over and over again.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right.
So when you Brexited out, you said, I will not be part of Nazism.
Yeah.
Populism across the continent. During the media conference before the signing of the treaty, the two leaders gave their vision of the renewed bond. Explaining why the new treaty was needed, Angela Merkel said that the challenges of rising populism and nationalism require Europe to give clear answers. She also stressed, too, the importance of closer military cooperation between Berlin and Paris, and the creation of a joint defence and arms export culture. Emmanuel Macron, in turn, said the founding fathers of the Franco-German bond would be proud of today's signing. Well, RT's Peter Oliver takes a look now. What is in the treaty?
This smiling is like...
The draft of the deal was a little light on real details, but there is a clear intent with it. Let's have a look at the deal. We're set for an increase in bilateral statements when it comes to major EU issues. Now, this is something that's already fairly commonplace from the two, but now it's going to be in writing. There's also plans for more fiscal integration in what's being called the Franco-German economic zone. On the military front, both nations want their armed forces.
You can't have that. That's the whole point of the single market. Right? Is everyone is supposed to be treated fairly and the same.
If you're making deals within the group, we're not all the same here. You can't, it literally should be, they should be standing up in arms, every other country in the European Union.
To be as intertwined as their economies, with Germany and France combining to reinforce NATO and EU defence. Also, what's being called the fostering of a common culture in the ranks and a Franco-German Security Council. So the brass...
Did you hear that? A common culture. A common culture.
Because the French and the German are so much... The Germans are so much alike.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning Eastern Europeans are less than us.
Yeah.
And the politicians are pulling in the same direction. There's also foreign policy goals which may prove a little less straightforward, including a permanent seat for Germany on the UN Security Council.
Wait, pause.
But not everyone...
How in the world does Germany and France get to sit down and say, oh, by the way, I'm going to have a permanent seat on the UN and Security Council? That's just, that's just what I'm going to do. I'm telling you what I'm going to do.
Patriot Gallery.
The army that the EU army is the UN army and NATO.
Right. Yeah.
The EU army is NATO and the UN army. They already have the army. It's already made. They're just going to switch names.
There you go. There you go. Right.
Is happy about these EU powerhouses getting even more chummy and cementing their position within the bloc.
Europe is used to the Franco-German axis, but we're seeking a new balance, a new energy, and in this sense, Poland and Italy will be the protagonists of this new European spring.
There's also domestic upset over the deal. Alternative for Germany say it erodes German sovereignty.
Wow. So if you go to the one right next to it on the left.
On the left.
Yeah. This should be the one. There we go.
Oh, look at that face.
I know.
That's rough. There we go.
Das Verhältnis Großbritanniens zu Europa war immer sehr schwankend. Sie haben bei vielen Politiken nicht mitgemacht.
She just said the relationship between Europe and Great Britain was always, shall we say, patchy.
Nice.
They're not in the same Eurozone. They are not part of the free travel area.
Sie sind nicht im Euro. Sie sind nicht in dem Raum des freien Reisens. Sie haben bei der Innenpolitik nicht mitgemacht. Also wir haben immer gesagt, wir sind eine Insel, wir wollen mehr Unabhängigkeit. Für sie war eigentlich...
You don't need to read it because they can read it. I was really just emphasizing.
But there's a lot of our viewers that just listen as they're going about their tasks, so I thought I'd read it.
Okay. That's fine.
For them, Europe was always about...
Europa immer im Wesentlichen der freie, auch sehr oft der freie Warenaustausch. Und
I did turn her down. Okay. I didn't turn her down enough.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying to try to listen to both.
Okay. And they didn't really value us deepening our relationship. Our joint ambition, nevertheless, should be that Europe becomes the new shield for the people against the new tumults in the world. That is our contemporary challenge. It is these new protections. It is our capacity to finally explain, show, and demonstrate that the friendship between Germany and France are common projects, that our ambition for Europe is what protects us really, and is what really allows us to regain control of our lives. Really? And to construct our destinies freely chosen in the world. I care now that we have
in Britain
divorce in a good process, so that afterwards we can still work closely together in the areas where we must cooperate on defense and domestic security and trading and combating. Wow, that's going really fast. Policing, thank you. Domestic security, on policing, on combating terrorism, and in trade too, and so that Britain can take part in our research projects if they want. I think that in the case of other EU countries, it will be enough if we listen closely to their wishes and communicate closely with each other.
Liar. It's not going to work.
And then we can prevent other countries from leaving. I think that's what she just said. Is that what she just said at the end?
That's what she said. No,
okay, she said, I think it's enough if we just listen. We don't actually have to do anything. It's enough if we just listen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen.
I may have had the wrong video up there the whole time. No, I didn't. All right, that's right.
All right, so listen, there's a lot of people in other countries who are standing up, who are saying enough is enough. I want to start over here, and Australia is definitely. I'll go ahead and play this one,
okay?
Because they speak English a little bit, but we don't need the subtitles for this one. Australians in Victoria no longer feel safe walking outside at night or taking public transportation. Refugee street gangs invade homes, terrorize residents and police. What is the difference? You have a Western type of country, which is definitely, Australia is definitely a Western
for sure
nation.
Yeah.
And these refugees are all going there. Like, you don't see them going into, from what I understand, like Thailand or the Philippines or whatever.
Right.
They're going where the money is.
Yeah.
And Victoria Police Minister refuses to acknowledge jihadi groups and fights to conceal the enormous problem.
The state government admits it's not good enough that around a third of Victorians feel unsafe using public transport or walking in their own neighbourhood. The figures are part of a report showing safety concerns are a bigger issue here than anywhere else in Australia.
Can we just do all our news in Australia?
Jessie Weatherly and her family were asleep when their home was broken into. The teenage thieves then stole their car. The crime has changed her perception of safety.
Now I look at kids who might be 16 or 17 and think, actually, you're capable of breaking into my house and stealing my car.
The events have had a ripple effect.
My daughter gets really frightened that people are going to steal her or steal her from her daycare and things like that.
A Productivity Commission report shows Jessie's family isn't alone. The data reveals about a third of Victorians feel unsafe walking around their neighbourhood at night. That's 5% higher than the Australian-wide figure. And it's a similar story for commuters on public transport after dark, with 28% feeling at risk. The Police Minister wants people to be safe as well as feel safe.
And that's the focus of myself and Victoria Police, and we're starting to see some improvements in that, and we've still got some more work to do there.
Victorians don't just feel unsafe in public, it's also an issue for more than 9% of us at home after dark, which is a higher rate than the rest of the country.
When people don't feel safe at night, we know Daniel Andrews has a real problem.
Jessie has since installed extra security in her home.
It's something I'm a lot more aware of and think about a lot more than I did before.
Emily Angwin, 7 News.
Britt Bozza says Victoria banned guns. Don't forget this.
Yeah, exactly. So that's also going to, maybe make it so that you don't feel as safe. So we saw that. These are my French videos. Okay, so if you want to, I think I have a couple videos here of Salvini, of some Italians. So they're kind of they're all kind of all together. There's one. Go ahead if you have that one up.
This one right here.
Yeah, so this is when you are a slave, you serve the interest of Soros. This is Giorgia Meloni is the leader of Italy's anti-immigration party, Fratelli dell'Italia, and member of Italian Chamber of Deputies. Meloni addresses the former president of the Chamber of Deputies about the sick UN migration pact. And again, thanks to Amy Mack for finding these and researching.
Yeah, she's great.
Who these people are, so we can get behind.
But
them.
you know, she doesn't have a blue check mark.
A parte lei, i governi di mezzo mondo, nessuno ha letto il Migration Compact. Allora io, siccome mi piace, sono una persona che studia.
Do you want me to go ahead and try and read them, or just let everybody read them?
She's fast.
Okay. No? Allora io sono una persona che studia e sa che le dico? Gli Stati Uniti si sono ritirati dal Global Compact, dichiarando per bocca dell'ambasciatrice americana le nostre decisioni sull'immigrazione devono essere sempre prese dagli americani e solo dagli americani. L'Austria si è sfilata a fine ottobre dichiarando la migrazione non è e non può essere un diritto fondamentale dell'uomo. Pensi, la stessa cosa che ho capito io. E io gli austriaci non capiamo niente. L'Australia dice, per bocca del ministro dell'interno australiano, non mi sembra neanche l'Australia un governo così razzista, non firmeremo alcun documento che non è nel nostro interesse nazionale. E non è nel nostro interesse nazionale delegare la nostra politica di protezione delle frontiere alle Nazioni Unite.
No, I do not want you to read what she's saying because I need you to hear it how she's saying it.
Yeah. She does have great inflection.
It's so awesome.
If you guys aren't able to watch this, just come back to this part and watch it again so you can read it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Dice assai probabile che la Polonia, sull'esempio delle altre, non farà parte del patto globale perché le nostre regole, i nostri principi sovrani concernenti la protezione delle frontiere sono una priorità. Lo dicono i governi di mezzo mondo, l'hanno capito tutti.
Onorevole Scalfarotto, onorevole Meloni, lei si rivolga a me, onorevole Scalfarotto, lei taccia perché ha fatto già il suo intervento.
L'abbiamo capito noi, l'ha capito mezzo mondo, il punto qual è? Lo capiscono anche loro, lo capiscono bene. Il Migration Compact è esattamente quello che serve a chi ha utilizzato l'immigrazione irregolare in questi decenni per coronare il grande disegno della speculazione finanziaria di privare nazioni e...
She just said that this migration pact is a grand design of financial speculation to deprive the nations and peoples of their identity. Go ahead.
E i popoli della loro identità, perché quando non hai più radici sei schiavo e quando sei schiavo fai gli interessi di Soros.
Wow. Hang on, so you gotta read that. Hang on. Just go back and read it.
Go ahead. I want her to say it, but we can definitely
when you are okay, so what she's saying is they want you to lose your identity. And when you lose your identity, then you are a slave. And when you are a slave, then you serve the interests of Soros.
Yep. Yeah.
And these people unfortunately look at that.
Quello guardano. E quindi noi abbiamo letto bene il Migration Compact e continuiamo a chiedere al governo di avere una posizione chiara. Noi chiediamo che il governo dica pubblicamente di no, non ci basta che il governo non vada a Marrakesh. Noi vogliamo il voto in quest'Aula e chiediamo a chi condivide con noi la difesa dell'identità.
Wow, that was really
defend
powerful.
our identity and defend our borders. And oh my word, somebody give that girl more microphone time.
Okay, is this the next one you want me to go with?
Yes, Italy first.
You want to read it before I press
Matteo Salvini stands firm in his decision not to open ports to Soros NGO boats. They are not humanitarian rescue vessels. They are smuggling jihadists and economic invaders from country not at war. The media labels Salvini far-right for putting his citizens first. He's obviously not far-right because he's incredibly, incredibly socialist.
Right.
But here's the thing. Salvini is putting his people first. And this is what we have in common with Salvini. As we pointed out before, they're way more socialist over there.
Yeah.
It's already in their roots to be that way. But I feel that when they go back to God, you can make government more fair. You can give they're realizing we need our people to have more freedoms. And we need to kind of pull out of this European Union junk. There's another video I'm going to play when we're done here, though, because courts have cleared the way for Salvini to be arrested for...
Well, they're trying to do the same thing to Trump. Anybody that has their country's best interest in heart.
If you don't think the New World Order and the globalist deep state is real,
oh my gosh, you're at the right place.
You're at
the right place.
That's a good way to say it. I was going to say your head's in the sand, but yeah, okay.
Quindi adesso magari cominceranno le litanie dei professori e degli intellettuali, delle associazioni, di un cardinale, di 6.000 telegiornali. Aprite, spalancate, abbracciate, accogliete.
Do you know how hard it is for a Christian government, which is he is Christian, to go against the Pope? The Pope is like, we need to open our borders.
He says we need to be hugging migrants.
So what he is literally standing against the pedophile priest, standing against Pope Francis right now. And so if you're going to say your prayers for some world leaders, top of my list is Salvini, Orban, the whole Polish government, and Austrian government, and really Salvini right now, because he is even in a better position than Viktor Orban, because when you look at history, Eastern Europe is kind of gaining their footage back, but Italy is right there in the trio of Franco-German-Italian relations, right? Yeah. And so Italy has the same. Germany obviously is the most powerful, but France and Italy, they kind of, Italy's been hit financially pretty hard. France not at the same level. If Italy had a Macron, it would be the Franco-German Italy alliance against and Viktor Orban and the Polish government would just be gone.
Sure.
Because it would just be done.
So praise God for Salvini.
The guy right now, what the Italians have done, and I believe it's because of their Christian roots, because the way Merkel, and you should understand this, Christianity, because I view the world through the eyes of Christian history, because obviously you cannot view Europe but through the eyes of Christianity,
right?
And how Christianity brought Europeans from paganism into an age of enlightenment and scientific discovery, which is at its root Christian,
right?
And when you uncouple God from creation and from science, you do bad things.
You unleash hell.
You create nuclear bombs and robots that shoot people, which is what they're doing right now in China.
No,
Like they don't even care.
Yeah.
Like they don't even care. Like it's like the whole artificial intelligence thing. They don't even care. Like you can take a gift from God and you can pollute it, and you can take intelligence. It's like, here's the thing. When Adam and Eve, when they chose to eat from the knowledge of good and evil, the reason God had to kick them out of Eden was because if he gave them eternal life with this perfect knowledge of living, they would destroy everything.
Right. Do you want me to finish with Salvini?
Yeah, but I wasn't finished.
Okay. No, keep going. They would destroy it all. I'm with you.
And so with the scientific advancements we have, we say knowledge over everything, science over humanity.
Right.
If we can, why don't we?
Right.
Why don't we make cloud seeding efforts? Because we can. Why don't we put a broccoli plant with a bacteria with a corn thing?
Our favorite Jurassic Park quote is, they worried so much and thought so much about whether they could, they didn't stop to think about whether they should.
Okay, go ahead.
Salvini. I'm going to read these because for the people that are listening.
Well, let him finish.
No.
170 migrants have gone missing in the Mediterranean. In two separate shipwrecks, the dinghies left from Libya and Morocco to reach Europe. But Italy's interior minister says that won't change his country's migration policy.
Latest shipwreck is proof that if you reopen the ports,
if you allow everyone to wander into the Mediterranean Sea, regardless of the laws of our countries, more people will die. Salvini closed off Italian ports to humanitarian boats to deter human traffickers. After the populist government came to power in mid-2018, the far-right minister says 100 people had reached Italy, compared to 2,000 in the same period of 2018.
So what we have over here, though, is two to the left. Salvini is ready for arrest over detention of invaders. Italy's Deputy PM Matteo Salvini refuses to allow Soros and the EU to destroy the Italy. He says, I am proud if you want to question me and arrest me because I defend the borders and security of my country and I welcome you with open arms. Okay. Go ahead. Let him say, because he's probably pretty passionate about being arrested.
In base all'articolo 605 del Codice Penale per sequestro aggravato di persone e di minori, pena prevista da 3 a 15 anni. Cioè, pena prevista per il senatore Matteo Salvini, momentaneamente ministro dell'Interno, da 3 a 15 anni di galera. Manco fossi uno spacciatore o uno stupratore. Perché? Perché osai, secondo questi 3 giudici del Tribunale di Catania, bloccare lo sbarco quest'estate dei 177 immigrati presenti sulla nave Diciotti. Allora, capiamoci. Se uno fa il ministro, applica la legge, di più, applica l'articolo 52 della Costituzione italiana che recita, siccome tanti intellettualoni e professori di sinistra giustamente vivono a pane e Costituzione, pienamente giusto, io ho giurato sulla Costituzione, articolo 52 della Costituzione italiana, la difesa della patria è sacro dovere del cittadino, soprattutto se il cittadino è pure ministro. La difesa della patria è sacro dovere del cittadino, la difesa dei confini, la difesa delle regole, la difesa del vivere civile, la difesa della democrazia. Per qualcuno no. Per qualcuno un ministro che blocca gli sbarchi non difende la patria ma deve finire in galera. Adesso la parola passerà al Senato della Repubblica e quindi ci saranno i senatori che dovranno dire sì o no, colpevole o innocente, libero o a processo. Chiarisco subito, io non cambio di un centimetro la mia posizione. Barche, barchini e barconi di scafisti, trafficanti, mafiosi o amici di Tizio, ONG, olandesi e tedesche in Italia non sbarcano nessuno. Quindi se sono stato sequestratore una volta, ritenetemi sequestratore anche per i mesi a venire. Non cambio assolutamente idea perché voglio salvare vite e voglio presidiare i confini e voglio difendere.
Wow, that's really powerful. I'm glad that he does that. I wish maybe Trump would do a couple more like personal videos like that. Like, here I am just sitting in my office. I have some thoughts. Here's what I'm going to tell you. For anybody that's threatening to accuse me or threatening to have me put into jail or whatever, I'm not moving an inch. I'm not moving a centimeter, he said.
Right. Well, let's go over to the next video on the right. We're talking about the horrors of Germany. It's called A Line of Horrors in Germany. An event called The Line of Horrors was organized in Berlin, memorializing all the victims of migrant crime who have been slaughtered since 2015 or who have been traumatized by cultural enrichment in other ways. Go ahead.
All right.
Totschlag in Vollendung.
Okay, we can totally read this.
Murder.
Murder, robbery, and manslaughter in all its fullness.
Did you make it bigger?
I can. So, Robert, what's happening here? Today we set up the Line of Horrors in its full splendor and enormity. In front of the Chancellery, we have managed to gather 200 meters of newspaper reports on robbery, murder, and rape within 8 months. If you think about it, this number currently represents the crimes committed in Germany by asylum seekers. In just 3 days, it shows the dimensions of what we are faced with and what is actually happening in our country. Is everything being suppressed? Not everything. It is difficult to find these articles. Of course, I prefer to show the official figures. From the Federal Crime Police, everything remains limited to what is legally possible. And the estimated number of unrecorded cases? Your guess is as good as mine. I think the real figures are extremely high and much larger. That's why I always say... I don't know what he always says. The subtitle stopped. We are currently in an asymmetric civil war. Have a look and you will see. Thank you, Lynn.
But these are all just normal German people who are so tired
Oh my gosh. We had an increase of group rape by 82%. The police crime statistics report. Remember that something on this scale didn't exist in Germany previously. For 2016, I have the official figures with me. The number of German suspects decreased by 3.4%, while the number of non-German suspects increased by 4.6%. The number of people without German citizenship has thus increased by more than 40%. In 2015, we had approximately 270,000 crimes committed by the so-called sanctuary seekers.
I think it's important if you kind of like read it normal.
Okay, I'm trying to just get all the words in.
I know.
In 2016, we had approximately 470 crimes.
In 2016, we had approximately 293.
No, I think that's actually supposed to be 293,470 crimes. That got separated by the so-called sanctuary seekers.
You're right. That's a huge number. Holy cow.
Wow.
That's huge. That's huge. So this is part of the populace I wanted to show you that are rising up to do something and to say something.
Wow.
So now we're going to go over to Austria. And go ahead, and I want you to bring this one up too because of the subtitles.
On that one?
A couple.
Right?
As you close them out, it'll come up. So,
we did that one.
Yeah. And so here we go. We're going to Austria. It's very close to Germany here. We will end up destroying. This is an Austrian official, Gerald Gross, and he says we will end up destroying our entire liberal constitutional state, all because of a certain reality. I watched this, and what he is saying is, these asylum seekers are coming in. And so you have to make more and more and more rules and laws.
Yeah.
But in doing so,
you're really shackling the like people, a liberal, the natives.
The way he's saying is we have a liberal, tolerant people. We're normal people. We're normal people. But you're going to take away our rights to move and free movement into, maybe even own some weapons. I don't know exactly what he is the specifics that he's talking about, but I do know that he's talking about rights and rights that they have as citizens that are being taken away. He's like, you know what? When you have a hijab or a niqab ban, when you have to go that far, you're not addressing the root cause.
Exactly.
We shouldn't have to have a niqab ban. What is wrong with our country that you have to have it on the books that it's illegal to cover your face? We shouldn't even have it. It shouldn't be a discussion.
Right, I agree. Very well said.
He's very passionate, so I want him to say it too. Okay. Make it big, please.
Und über diese Morde zu diskutieren, über diese Gewaltexzesse. Wir diskutieren seit Dezember über das 16-jährige Mädchen aus Steyr. Ja. Und wir haben die letzten 5 Wochen mehr als 6 Morde exakt erleben müssen zur Stunde. Und heute in der Früh den jüngsten Fall eines Mädchens am Hauptbahnhof und vorgestern in Wiener Neustadt. Und wir sitzen dann in unterschiedlichen Runden und diskutieren über Waffenverbote für ganz Wien, über Ausgehverbote, über die totale Überwachung, über das
He says we're talking about curfews, total surveillance. We want to have. I don't want to be surveilled. He's like, I'm a normal citizen.
Headscarf bans. What if you just want to wear a headscarf and you're a normal person?
Exactly.
This is getting ridiculous.
Curfews.
Patriot Galler has something she wants to contribute.
Just a bit of trivia. In Texas, it is illegal to cover your face because bandits used to rob banks and covered their faces.
Oh, there you go.
Kopftuchverbot. Wir packen alles in eine neue Anlass- und Reparaturgesetzgebung posthum hinein. Es ist wer gestorben, es wird sofort nach neuen Gesetzen berufen und wir vergessen dabei, dass wir unseren gesamten liberalen Rechtsstaat aufgrund solcher Fälle, die überaus zunehmen, einschränken und zu Grabe tragen. Nur weil irgendwelche Realitätsverweigerer, Toleranzmenschen und Gutmenschen
Reality-denying, tolerant people and do-gooders.
Unintegrierbare integrieren sollen. Dass wir
should integrate the non-integratable.
And that's what he's talking about.
We should be tolerant towards the intolerable.
Right, exactly. These people are intolerable to everyone around them that they're letting in.
Yeah.
But we have to be tolerant to them.
Right.
They're not integrating to our society. The fact that you have to have a curfew or a headscarf ban is saying you're not becoming Austrian.
Right.
Sein sollen. Und ich sage Ihnen, ich pfeife auf diese. Ich brauche keine neuen Gesetze, die unsere Meinungsfreiheit, unseren Recht.
I don't need new laws that restrict my freedom of expression.
Rechtsstaat, unsere freiheitliche demokratische Rechtsordnung einschränken,
Look at that guy's
sondern
face.
wir brauchen
He's agreeing, but I think he's there on the other side of the debate.
Yeah.
endlich Verantwortungsträger, die diese her- und hinschaffen, diese Gewaltkarawane, die nach Europa gezogen ist, wieder dorthin verfrachtet, wo sie hergekommen ist, dort, wo der Pfeffer...
He tells it like it is.
That's where it came from, and good
He
riddance.
says those who are responsible for bringing this caravan here need to take it back.
He says, I don't see why I should have to change my life.
Ich sehe nicht ein, warum ich mein Leben, mein Gesellschaftsmodell, mein Lebensmodell
Social
ändern soll,
I'm used to.
mein Dasein ändern
The
soll,
existence,
alles nur
change
noch
my
mehr
existence.
überwachter wird,
Police state.
And
nur
live in a
weil
police
sich
state.
die Politik nicht dazu durchringen kann.
Okay, now this is really good because politicians are incapable of reversing the cause instead of treating the effects.
Endlich die Ursache zu bekämpfen, sondern immer nur die Auswirkungen.
Wow, that's a mic drop, man.
Like that's something we have to play like
Holy
every week.
Smokes.
Why? I don't want to have to change. And that's the same thing with like YouTube and the demonetization and the losing of freedom of expression.
Which, by the way, did you hear that they have finally come out? The Daily Mail reported on this. So it kind of is European news because it covers worldwide. YouTube and Google have officially admitted that they are going to, now we know they've already been doing it, cracking down on conspiracy content. Including, and they say their target's going to be 9/11 truthers, the flat earthers. There was one more. And I'm like, okay, well, all of our videos are going to get flagged because our tagline is it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth, and we say it in every show. But I made a post, and I don't want to offend anybody watching our show, but if you're watching our show and you don't know that we really do understand that the earth is round, my post was, listen, the earth is not flat, but I will defend your right to tell everyone in your whole circle that it is, and whatever you want to say.
It's not YouTube's job to curate
exactly
if they are aliens or not.
There are not aliens, but if people want to put out
here's
aliens,
the thing.
here's the thing, they're going to let people put out alien videos.
But the flat earthers, no, and the 9/11 truthers, no.
Right.
It's like they really just threw the flat earthers in there
because they wanted to put. Everybody understands that the earth is round.
Right.
And that the flat earthers are seen as crazy cuckoo. Right. So if they throw 9/11 conspiracy theories in with them, line, right. That's exactly, and that's what I said. I said, these people don't care about the flat earthers. They don't care that people are putting that content out. They do care about people that are exposing the fact that 9/11 was an inside job.
Right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
All right, so next to it is a true feminist who's not afraid to speak the truth. This is the Austrian, we just heard from an Austrian man. This is the Austrian Secretary of State.
Okay. Here we go.
Alle fragen sich wohl genauso wie wir, was ist da los? Wie kann es dazu kommen und was sind die Gründe für diese Gewalteskalation? Nun, ich darf noch einmal auf die Fälle eingehen. Die Tat in Wiener Neustadt wurde von einem Syrer begangen. Die Tat in Amstetten von einem Mann mit türkischen Wurzeln. Die jüngste Tat am Wiener
Okay, pause it. We're going to go over, I'm not going to read her word for word.
Okay.
We'll go over what she's saying. She's saying we need to look at the statistics of these recent murders that we're talking about. This is a Syrian man with, for one murder she talks about, a Syrian man with Turkish roots. And now we have a murder at Vienna Central Station by a man with African roots.
Mit afrikanischen Wurzeln. Und ich darf auch erinnern an den tragischen Fall im Dezember 2018 in Steyr, wo ein 17-jähriger Afghane seine 16-jährige Freundin niedergestochen hat in ihrem eigenen Zimmer. Aber auch der Fall vor 2 Tagen in Adnan-Buchheim, ein Kosovare, sticht auf seine Frau ein, die sich von ihm scheiden lassen will, spricht Bände, und wir müssen hier ganz klar hinschauen. Wir dürfen die Augen davor nicht verschließen. Migrationsströme in den letzten Jahren haben auch Wertehaltungen zu uns importiert, wie etwa Antisemitismus.
Imported values to us such as anti-Semitism, radical Islamism, and associated with that an image of women.
Radikaler Islamismus und damit verbunden auch ein Frauenbild, das von uns
that's really important, that we clearly reject. Listen, we have evolved. Right. You guys know that Leah and I are not the big feminist touting whatever, but you know what? We do know that women have equal rights as men. It's very simple.
Well,
and Islam does not promote that. They keep women under their thumb. They are literally treated not even as second-class citizens. They are treated as a bug that can be stepped on and squashed at a whim.
feminism pushes women.
We reject that.
Feminism pushes women and men down. Feminism has a lot to do with the Muslim patriarchy.
Klar abgelehnt wird, das mit unserer Wertehaltung nichts zu tun hat. Ja, ich sage ganz klar, es ist mehr noch. Es ist damit verbunden eine völlige Entwertung der Frau.
It says it's a complete devaluation of women, in which women become an object.
Vom Subjekt zum Objekt wird, wo der Mann über sie verfügt.
Exactly, they're like slaves.
Zu extremen und schweren
extreme violence is a result of this, like the murders.
Zu den Morden in den letzten Tagen und Wochen.
So she's saying we have to be able to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And with this religion, with these men who view women as slaves and see them as a different... I'm not going to play the video. Amy Meck had on there an imam who said that he was trying to be real rational about female genital mutilation and was like,
joking.
You can only do just a little bit because if you do too much, then the woman will be too cold to her husband. But if you don't do it, but you have to look at those countries who don't allow it at all, and those women are not satisfied with one man. I mean, they have to be with 2 and 3 and multiple men. And I'm just like, no. No. And that is just cray-cray for a dude to say, this woman is going to go around being adulterous with a bunch of men if we don't cut off part of her pee-pee.
Oh, my God.
And that is insanity. Like, he needs to have his pee-pee cut off and see how it feels. That's what I'm going to say.
How old are you?
It's the best way to say it without
I understand
being cray-cray. All right. So, speaking of imams, I will play this. If you go over a couple, this is exposed while German police are busy raiding homes and targeting citizens who write hateful or offensive social media postings. Imams openly preach their plans to take over and spew hate towards Germany's. And get this, Merkel has banned Amy Meck's Twitter for exposing these imams. And it's probably best if you go ahead and read it.
Okay.
You can leave a little bit of volume there, but read it.
There's barely any volume there anyway. Let me make it big. All right. In a mosque in the heart of Germany, these filthy German authorities...
Diese schmutzigen deutschen Behörden, die sich nicht trauen, hier reinzukommen, weil sie...
So don't dare come in here.
Okay, let me press play.
You can go back a little bit. Because they have nothing... Go ahead.
Die sich nicht trauen, hier reinzukommen, weil sie nichts gegen uns in der
On
Hand haben.
us, let them play their little games, and may Allah destroy them now and for eternity. The Imam doesn't neglect any opportunity to stir up hatred against unbelievers whom he calls kafir. We trample them with our feet because they are filthy and Islam haters. The Ashab Mosque in Berlin has been under investigation for domestic intelligence by domestic intelligence for years. It is considered to be Islamist, just like hundreds of other mosques. In Germany, the Domestic Intelligence Service won't tell us the exact number. The problem is that these mosques are under constant investigation, but with no consequences. We managed to place undercover reporters in several of these mosques. For months, they reveal how hate preachers are encouraging hatred among believers, and radical information is spread with use of women's networks. It was said that our Islamic rights is to fight against the unbelievers. One thing is clear, even mosques declared as radical are seldom closed, which means hate preachers can continue their hate preaching unhindered. They say anyone that doesn't live and think as we do is kafir. This means unbeliever. In their eyes, unbelievers are worthless. Their lives are worth nothing. ZDF Zoom wants to know, why do German security authorities allow this to happen? Why aren't such mosques shut down? Why aren't hate preachers dealt with? Wow.
And I think if you go down, there's another one. There's one of 3.
Okay. This one here is Berlin. I don't even know how to say that, is only registered as a club.
Ist nur als Verein angemeldet. Als wir hier drehen, passiert
goes up every time I switch to another video.
When we've been filming, something happened, and we would later come to expect. A man rushes towards us and attempts us to prevent from filming.
Now you are not permitted to film here on the street. Wait, no, I will. Don't touch. Not very far from there, in the Berlin wedding quarter, is the Ashaba Mosque, right in the middle of a residential area, undetectable from the outside, but the imam inside is a star of the Salafist scene. Abu Bara, the 45-year-old, publishes many of his sermons on Facebook, including many concerning what he refers to as unbelievers. Is praying in the presence of an imam permitted if one of the congregation... Sorry, I couldn't read that fast. If one congratulates the kafir on the holidays, if you congratulate them during their holidays, that's enough to send you to the grave as a kafir. It can tip the scales between just having big sins and becoming kafir. He has been preaching in the mosque for years as head imam. This is where we planted our undercover Muslim reporter for 6 months. He finds out that Abu Bara doesn't reveal anything in his Facebook videos. Everything. Thank you. I can read. This part of one of his Friday sermons was not made public. These kuffars spend every cent to fight against the religion of Allah. They are not only going to regret it, they are going to be conquered. It is threat and a promise from Allah. Those kafir will be thrown into the fire of hell.
Und diejenigen, die Kuffar sind, werden in das Höllenfeuer geworfen.
If Allah confirms it, you can't have another opinion.
Und wenn Allah eine Sache bestätigt, dann sagst du nicht, ich
Are you calling Allah a liar? That's Allah telling you that.
Allah sagt das.
Anyone in Abu Bara's eyes who is not a true Muslim deserves to burn in hell. He also doesn't tolerate any contradiction, because it is in order from Allah. The Imam doesn't neglect any opportunity to stir up hatred against those he calls unbelievers. Everyone who is not a Muslim is kafir. Kafir mean to hide something. What do the kafir hide? The truth. They act as if they don't know the truth. Do you see how humane they are in Syria? Do you see how humane they are in Burma? May Allah destroy them, every last one of them, for killing Muslims. They love killing Muslims. And then there's one more.
Yeah, there is.
In der Weddinger Ashaba Moschee.
Hang on, let's make it big. Hit the volume. Oh, it's already low. In Abu Bara's Ashaba Mosque in Berlin wedding, we also planted a young man named Rahab.
Woman.
Well, excuse me, I can read. Rahab. For several weeks, she visited the mosque for Friday sermons on the woman's side. On one occasion, as she sat with several other women, the conversation was unguarded. I heard one woman tell another woman that she only had 300 euros, $340 for her trip to Syria. I thought to myself, Syria, what does she want to do in Syria? So I asked her what she wanted to do in Syria. She said it would be better if I didn't know. Rahab was especially shocked by what children were taught. In the mosque, she made these recordings there for us. The constant stirring up of hatred for the kafir, the unbelievers, was very effective with children. Abu Bara also spewed hatred for Jews and Christians, calling Jews the biggest enemies of Islam. What seemed strange to me was that he said that almost every mosque in Germany preached Islam wrong. I witnessed the way children were influenced. They said, I only have Muslim friends. No Germans, no Christians or Jews. I'm not allowed to. I asked the little girl why not. Are they mean? She said, No, but they are all going to hell. I was so shocked that a little girl says such things. What kind of consequences will this have in a society when even small children are trained to hate people of other faiths? As this mosque was established in 2010 by Reda Sayem and became education minister for the militant group Islamic State in Syria. The German Islamist Dennis Cuthbert was also invited as a guest speaker. He is presumed to be dead. Cuthbert committed several atrocities in the name of ISIS. When he and Sayman were active in the mosque, the name of the head imam was Abu Bara. Our undercover reporter posed as regular mosque visitor around Bara and spoke with him frequently.
Wow. So there you have it. It's like, here's the thing. If you want us to believe that Islam is a religion of peace, this isn't helping. You know what I mean? This is not helping. You have to be able, if you want us to believe that Islam is a religion of peace, then you need to do something about these mosques yourself.
Exactly.
And if you don't, then I have to believe that you don't. Well, you know that Islam is not a religion of peace. So there's a few more videos I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go ahead and bring this one out myself. Italy's Giorgia Meloni on Macron's exploitation of African and immigration. Giorgia Meloni is the leader of Italy's anti-immigration party Fratelli d'Italia and member of the Italian Chamber of Deputies. Meloni stands with Salvini and his decision to close the ports. She says, I'll be fast. Yeah. The election of Emmanuel Macron.
Noi ci siamo fatti fare le elezioni di Emmanuel Macron e ha detto a un certo punto che eravamo vomitevoli.
And he said at a certain point that we were making him vomit. Making him vomit because we were closed. Blah, 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 our ports. Perfect.
Questo si chiama
This is called a franc. It is the colonial currency which France prints for 14 African
nations. Che la Francia stampa per 14 nazioni africane.
That they dominate, and by means of which they exploit resources from these nations. This is really important. And this is why France has an economic advantage over Italy.
Okay, yeah.
Il signoraggio e in forza delle quali sfrutta le risorse di questa nazione.
This is a boy who works in a gold mine in Burkina Faso.
Questo è un bambino che lavora in una miniera d'oro in Burkina Faso. Il Burkina Faso è una delle nazioni
Burkina Faso is one of the poorest countries in the
più povere del mondo. Per il Burkina
Faso, Burkina Faso and for them France prints colonial currency.
Che a loro la Francia stampa moneta coloniale. In
exchange for the French demand 50% of everything.
Just for printing money.
Che finiscano nelle casse del tesoro francese il 50.
Burkina Faso exports winds up.
That they export.
Oh, winds up. Okay, winds up in the coffers of the French treasury.
50% di tutto quello che il Burkina Faso esporta.
Everything this boy does goes into an this boy goes into an underground mine to extract.
Si infila in un cunicolo per tirare fuori. Finisce per lo più nelle casse dello
Everything this boy goes into the mine to extract goes to the pockets of the French state.
Stato francese. Allora la soluzione non è prendere gli africani e spostarli in Europa. La soluzione
This is the perfect thing. So the solution is not to transport Africans and put them into Europe. The solution is to liberate Africans from Europeans who are exploiting them.
Liberare l'Africa da certi europei che la sfruttano e
allow these people to live on what they have.
Di vivere di quello che hanno.
And I want to go to Europe Parliament and talk about this.
Se gli italiani ci danno un po' d'aiuto il 26 maggio.
And if the Italians give us some help on May 26th and they send us to Europe, I will say enough with this.
That's so good.
Yes! Yes! Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes! See!
Oh my gosh, and if you guys are falling asleep before.
This is where nail he meets hammer and hits on the head. What she's saying, the reason that Germany and France want the Africans to be, you know, they have to allow the Africans in because they are part of their whole conglomerate and their whole, that's
exploiting
of the Africans, exploiting of people, exploitations, right and left. This was a flight that was diverted after a Tanzanian man screamed Allahu Akbar and tried to storm the plane's cockpit after praying at the front door. Transavia aircraft from Paris to Tunis made an emergency landing in Nice while the passenger acted violently towards the crew.
Did you just yell Allahu Akbar?
Yes.
Unbelievable. They can't even get him off the plane. I mean, there are like a ton of guys working on this.
So that seems really safe.
St. Mark says, I bet those African countries are from the former French colonial empire. France ruled a large chunk of Africa.
Yeah. Make Spain great again. I want to go ahead. I think I'm going to end with this because I wanted to let you know that when you're seeing some of these, I wanted to bring up these videos because I love what Amy has done to bring up these obscure politicians that we didn't know about, who we didn't know about, guys, we didn't know about, who's the Holland guy, the Netherlands guy, you know, with the blonde hair.
Viktor Orban.
No, the blonde hair from Netherlands, the tall guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, for crying out loud.
I hate when that happens. Marine Le Pen.
Geert Wilders.
And Geert Wilders. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I had to really search for that one. Did you see
it?
My brain
was like, okay. So we didn't know about a lot of these names, and on social media, suddenly people are finding them and finding the clips and putting them on social media. So Spain has a Spain first Trump-like populist message. And I wanted to play it because Spain is incredibly socialist. But even this guy is like the progressives. So they see what the progressives are pushing on people. And there's a whole room full of Trump-like populism. So if you find that one, you can play it because I'll go ahead and let the... sorry for our viewers who listen because there's a lot of... We're doing Europe today, and, you know, pretty much just the UK speaks English. They all have their own language, and so I'm grateful for subtitles and for people translating.
It's on Amy Meck's page, so it must be in one of... Oh, let's see if it's this one. No.
It's probably on the other one that still has some up. Oh, my gosh. La, 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 la. Yeah. No, we'll leave that one up. Because we're going to sweeten a little bit. You can shut that one down. That's it. Here we're going to Spain. Going to Spain.
That's really great.
Abascal, I think his name is Abascal, says the left uses labels to silence and shame opponents. So let's start him over.
De la izquierda. Me dan igual, progreso comunistas.
So I'm going to kind of go over a little bit. Well, let's talk about the left. I don't care if you're a progressive or a communist. But he does too.
Okay. Qué difícil se lo vais a poner. Porque lo tenían muy fácil hasta ahora. Se sacaban un San Benito de la chistera.
You pull insulting labels out of a hat, you leftists. Everything's been easy for you.
Y ya tenían a la derechita cobarde.
And the cowardly right start whimpering.
Moteando en una esquina o a la veleta naranja, cambiando de opinión al menor viento de crítica. La superioridad moral que ha impuesto la dictadura de la corrección política dominada.
He talks about the political correctness is dominated by progressives.
Por los progres. Qué opresiva era. Qué fácil lo tenían para silenciarnos.
how easy it's been for them to silence us. And this message here could be said in anywhere.
Yeah.
Ayer preparaba estas palabras y después leía a Hermann Terz y decía, vaya coincidencia. Voy a decir casi lo mismo que él decía en su artículo. Que amáis a vuestra patria. Facha.
If you love your country, the left labels you fascist.
Que queréis a España. Fachas.
For Spain, fascist.
Que queréis defender las fronteras de España, las paredes de vuestro hogar.
The walls of your home.
Xenófobos.
Xenophobe.
Y fachas.
Here's the thing, guys. Again, if you don't believe that there is a global, one world government, deep state, that has a list of things that the Soroses have in the media to be putting on every single sane person in the entire world, mostly in westernized Christian countries. Take down, here's the thing, New World Order objective, take down Western Christianity.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's satanic. It's set up by Satan, okay? The idea is destroy the baddest state of Christianity after the Constantinople, and you had Christianity in the first Christian-based government, and Christianity starts to spread, some through conquest, some through military, but mostly those were people who were like, hey, Christianity is awesome. I'm going to take control of it. Those are people trying to wield control Christianity.
Yeah.
They can no longer wield control Christianity, so now they want to get rid of it because the whole idea is about satanic control. When you see the military controlling Christianity, and you've got poor England, which is like Catholic and then Protestant, like some sort of schizophrenic relationship, and you're put to death if you're Catholic and then you're put to death if you're Protestant. I mean, these people have to change back and forth pretty quick. You know what I mean? You don't have a lot of time to put down a lot of faith roots. It's like, you know what I mean? It's whatever they say it is. They're off with your head. Right? Go ahead. And the fascists. And they play. And then they play. And then they play. And then we play.
Nope.
What if I hit the button?
What if you
it's
hit
gotta
the
be
button?
You.
It's not you. It's not me. It's you.
It's not me. It's you. Why don't you hit the YouTube link there?
Oh, I just
don't do that.
This.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you hit the YouTube link, you're more likely to have a better.
Okay. You want me to?
Yeah, it'll be easier.
Vamos a hablar de la izquierda.
Let's see where we were. Do you remember? About.
Su artículo.
Oh. And when I'm done with this, we're totally going to read some comments because this has been a really great episode and we probably should be reading them the whole time.
Que amáis a vuestra patria. Fachas. Que queréis a España. Fachas.
Fachas.
Que queréis defender las fronteras de España, las paredes de vuestro hogar. Xenófobos. Y fachas. Que os parece que la inmigración debe controlarse de alguna manera.
If you simply believe that immigration needs to be controlled in some way.
Racistas.
Racist.
Y fachas.
Y fascist.
Que os gustan las tradiciones, las fiestas populares y las procesiones de España y de su mundo rural. Retrógrados.
Backwards.
Y fachas.
And fascists.
Que os molestan.
Unhappy with excessive taxes that take away half
que
of
os
your
molestan
salary?
Los impuestos abusivos que os arrebatan la mitad de vuestro salario y la modesta herencia de vuestros padres en forma de una propiedad, de una casita. Insolidarios.
Selfish.
Aunque seáis mileuristas.
Y
fachas.
And fascist.
Que os fastidia que vuestros impuestos paguen 17 parlamentos y a miles de políticos inútiles y traidores. Centralistas madrileños, aunque seáis de La Coruña, de Lérida o vascos como yo. Y muy fachas, por cierto. Que rechazáis la ley de memoria histórica, que ataca la libertad de expresión, la libertad de conciencia y la libertad de cátedra. Franquistas y fachas. Que no admitís que se criminalice a la mitad de la población por su sexo con las leyes totalitarias de la ideología de género. Machistas y fachas. Daba igual
no matter
lo que
what you
pensases,
believe, the progressives,
los progres,
the communists,
los comunistas y una parte
and also
también
part of the
de
cowardly
esa
right,
derechita cobarde, tenían
have an insult,
un insulto,
a label,
un San Benito
ready to throw at you.
preparado para lanzaros. Casi siempre el mismo.
Almost always the
Fachas
same.
y mil veces
Fascist.
fachas.
Again and again.
Con Vox
Fascist.
esto se ha acabado.
With Vox, this is going to finish.
Con vosotros
With
esto
you,
se ha terminado.
this is going to end.
Porque
Because
los
the labels
Sanbenitos
and the
y los
insults
insultos de Pablo Iglesias,
from
de Pedro
Pablo,
Sánchez
whoever these
y de
people
Quito
are,
Ra, nos los ponemos
we
como
wear them
medallas
like
de
medals on our
pecho.
chests.
Los progres.
Okay. So there you go.
So there you go.
That's going to be in my head all day long.
This is Vox's
Eat
party.
fascist.
And so make Spain great again. Going to read some of these comments and we can kind of, wrap up our show here. There's a movement, guys, and wait for May. Because these guys, these women, they're reaching people. And these people, there she's taking them away from my hands. No, I don't, but it was kind of weird as it was just...
Brian Robinson says, I watch a channel, Central Intelligence Agency. He goes all over France and Germany into castles where no one is allowed, showing the Illuminati, Satanic Occultist, Templar, etc. Hilton says, Vox is the Spanish right party. Let's see. Step 1, destroy the West. Step 2, China ascends. Let's see. Stuart the Brit says, I've had enough. I'm moving to Russia on a big hill in a yacht. Let's see. I think I missed one. Spain fought the Muslim a long time ago out of their country, says Kelly. Let's see. Abominable Snowman says, I'm a xenophobe, but I'm okay. I sleep all right and I work all day. I like big walls. My skin is white, so I'm a xenophobe and that's all right. That's pretty good. You're a poet and you know it. All right, so that's CIA has hidden prisons in Europe, says Britt Baza.
Is there some comments on Facebook?
The Facebook comments weren't, I can't get them to show up for some reason. They were being weird to me.
Well, there's a lot to be said about these politicians and these parties that are not getting mainstream media talk.
Of course. But they're real groups of people. These people are righteously indignant. They are standing up. They are making changes. They're a real body to be reckoned with.
So we're going to see these elections. If the anointing and the power of God that I keep feeling on these, I mean, that's a full room full of people that are going to vote for this party. And so I see, if this continues, to continue to pray for these people to rise up, because it takes a lot to run for office. And to be a good person running for office is like off the wall. And so when you have these populist parties rising up against the same stuff that's why this time that we are in right now is so incredibly special. Because we in America say make Spain great again, and they in France say make America great again. We are fighting the same global enemy who wants to put the gender ideology on us, wants to tell us that, hey, most of Islam is peaceful, there's nothing bad in it, you're fine. There's a video from I watched where somebody at Parliament in Sweden, this woman was like, we love Islam. Islam's part of our country. There's nothing wrong with Islam. I will never say anything wrong with Islam. Actually, I'm not done because this is all about making...
So, Admiral Mark says, Mass Faith 3. Doesn't MI5 have a well-equipped James Bond division to take someone like Soros out? What the heck are we doing here? Stuart the Brit says, Apple Mark, he lives in the USA. You do it.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Somebody needs to take him out, but he has... it's like Hillary Clinton.
If you take out the main rat, the other rats will scatter and you will never flush them out again as long as they think their leader, the Pope, is still safe. They're going to use
Soros as the bait. Well said.
So I'm not done because I wanted to give the different leaders across Europe some FaceTime, some screen time. Finland first. Brave politician Jussi Halla-aho, chairman of the Finns party, addressed the migrant rape gangs targeting children in the run-up to the elections. Jussi Halla-aho has been arrested and prosecuted for speaking about Islam, Muhammad, and refugees. I'm not even kidding you. Finland should be home to the
Pitäisi olla suomalaisten koti, suomalaisten turvapaikka
a Finnish refuge in an evil world.
Viimeisten vuosien aikana siitä on tullut turvapaikkaturistien täyshoitola, jossa suomalaisella on maksajan rooli. Oulun ja Helsingin suomalaisella on maksajan rooli. Oulun ja Helsingin lapsiraiskaukset, samoin kuin julkisuuteen tulleet raiskaustilastot, ovat herättäneet yhä useamman suomalaisen myös siihen, että Suomesta on tullut maahantuntuneiden rikollisten metsästysmaa,
where Finns, even children, are game.
Wow.
Media ja poliitikot ovat vaalien alla paniikissa ja täynnä tarvetta.
The media and politicians running for election are panicking and are fully energized.
However, the problem is not new. It has been continued and worsened over the years. Nor is the problem born of itself. It is the result of a naive policy of disregard for its own citizens. It is the thanks to the Center Party, Conservative Party, and present-day Blue Reform, over 30,000 Arabs, Afghans, and Somalis were allowed to march from Sweden across the border in the autumn of 2015. Prime Minister Sipilä presented an open call, promising them a stay in his house in Kempele. Ironically, it was Kempele, that the new normal...
That tasted the new normal.
Thank you. When an asylum seeker raped a 14-year-old girl that same autumn. Since then, many people have experienced the same fate or have died, for example, in Kajini and Pori and Turku. What kind of people allow this to happen to themselves? What kind of people elect leaders that allow this to happen? The good news is that this does not have to be the case. This development has to be stopped and reversed. Not, however, with populist declarations that other parties are now filling the airways with in a state of distress, but through coherent, sensible reforms. The Finns party offered them before the events of Oulu, and offer them after the events of Oulu as well. 1. Sweden is a safe country. People coming from there should not receive applications for asylum, or in principle when proven to be unfounded. Finland grants, 2. Finland grants on the basis of subsidiary, a resident permit used, subsidiary protection, thank you. A resident permit issued for 4 years at a time, when in most other countries it is given for 1 year. I think that he meant to say Sweden is an unsafe country.
No, he's saying it's safe. You have to stay there. You don't get to come over.
I get it, yeah.
You don't get to come over from there.
Hang on, let me get to a couple comments really quickly.
Go ahead.
Stormbear says, it looks like America, UK, Australia, Poland, Hungary, Spain, Italy, Austria will be at war with Germany, France, Belgium, and the EU regime very soon. Let's see. Baza says, Theresa May, a miracle need FaceTime. Well, new FaceTime. Anyone recommend a good plastic surgeon?
And one more from Sweden. This is from this is about the Swedish schools. This is a project leader, Swedish National Agency for Education. It is very serious when it is reported and we discover it. We can't say that it has increased overall, but that the public is more aware of the issues, which leads to more people noticing them better and reporting them. What is necessary to do so that the schools become a safer environment for students and teachers? There are several things that can be done. Certainly one is partially the trusted relationships, which leads to students talking with adults when they end up in hazardous situations. Also, schools can stop mapping school buildings to mark possible locations for walls, insult, and discrimination. For example, places like sports halls, narrow pathways, and the last locker at the back. By doing this, we can prevent serious situations which could escalate to more dangerous situations. But we always have to evaluate each school in its local context, and the way the charts look and which assessment should follow. I will kill you, I will decapitate you. Judy Johnson, teacher. I brought knives to cut up pumpkins at Halloween. I went with the knives like this. It looks a little bizarre. The students came into the classroom when the second to last student came in.
eleven kom och
He
så
grabbed the knife
handsatt här och tog
and he
upp
pointed
den
it
för mina ögon och hans
and he
ögon
took it up in front of my
och
eyes and
tryckte
pointed at
den
my
mot
neck
min
and said,
hals
I will
och sa
kill
jag
you,
ska
I will
döda
decapitate
dig,
you.
jag ska skära halsen av dig.
Her case is one of 3,000 cases of reported threats of violent offenses in Swedish schools in the last 5 years. She's a drawing teacher, and she was threatened to death by a student last fall. This incident has caused a deep scar in Judy and changed her life.
Zoe says homeschool.
I felt that my entire body
hela kroppen blev
was lacerated, wounded in a way. I really felt it.
på något sätt. Så kände jag.
Depression, thoughts of suicide. And she
I don't think they can homeschool in Sweden. But you should homeschool where you're at.
I think it probably is legal. I think Germany's the only place where it's totally illegal.
Okay.
But yeah, they
Patriot
don't think
Gallery.
they do.
Well, somebody said a bad word. They said the word war. See, we're not at war with other countries because people are just fine. There are a few leaders like Merkel, your judges, your lawyers, politicians.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some policemen that like to hurt people.
Right.
But you're not at war with these.
Because our country as a whole, our people as a whole, and your people as a whole are not at war with each other.
Right. So we don't want a war with different governments. We want to take on a, you could say, a war against the leaders. As long as the leaders are the first ones down.
Right.
That's a totally different thing.
So, as Alex Jones calls it, this is an info war. This is an information war. And we don't fight this war. I know it's so much easier to fight with bullets, but people die with bullets, right? This is not, and it won't work. There's no revelation because your enemy hides in the box.
Yes.
Your enemy is in this computer right now.
Right.
Your enemy is in the airwaves.
Right.
All right? This is an information war. They are killing people, as Michelle talked about, like Ready One Player. They're killing people and damaging people and harming people virtually. And then they take it into the real world and they jail people like that Finnish politician who was jailed. This is an information war. And if we back down from speaking, I'm telling you to be wise.
Right.
In what you post and what you say. Okay? Be smart. You've learned, okay, this person did this and this person did this and this person was taken off and this person was deplatformed.
Right.
Don't get up in people's faces. I know it makes for great video, but you don't need to do it to win the information war.
Right.
Because that's the number one thing that they get people on. That's why Laura Loomer's deplatformed. That's why it got up in their faces. So do not confront these people.
Yeah.
Unless you're ready to, like Laura Loomer, to be deplatformed, and then that's your final straw. Make sure it's your final straw. No, it could be your final straw.
Right.
Okay. The information you post will not get you deplatformed usually. Okay, it's how you act. So go ahead and post things, but that's not the case in Europe. You can be arrested for speaking against Islam.
What was it? Raheem Kassim shared something that a guy just so happened to like a post that I think was Islamophobic or something like that, and they came after him at his house just for liking the post. He didn't share it. He just clicked like on it. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable times we're living in. So before we get to the songs, I know sometimes we lose people. Some of you stay just for the songs. You like literally come at the end just for the songs. I do want to remind you guys that I would count it a personal favor if you would go to our website, resistancechicks.com, and subscribe. You go to my account registration right here, so you get notifications when we put out a new article. Like I wrote this article on Roger Stone. I wrote something about the legalization of the abortion in New York.
Michelle's writing should be like New York Times. Like it should be. It's so good. No, it's so good, guys. Go and read it just because it's so good. But like you do want to know what's going on with Roger Stone because it does affect all of us.
Right.
It's about Donald Trump and it's basically global. The deep state's after all of us. So read Michelle's article about the New York abortion and read her and share these articles.
Yeah.
You can share these. You're not going to be deplatformed or anything. So share these. These are good articles. So share these. You ask, well, how do I share an hour-long video? It's really hard.
But you can share an article, and we make it really easy. There are lots of, you can just literally click on things. So it's super, super duper easy. So I want you guys to be there. And again, to remind you, one of the main reasons why we started ResistanceChicks.com was not only so we could write articles, but just in case we get deplatformed like so many other people like Laura Loomer, you will know where to find us, because we won't stop just because we get deplatformed. If that happens. God forbid. All right, so we've got a song for you. Thank you guys for being here.
I hope you enjoyed the show today, guys.
You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel. Lord, to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Taking my sin, my cross, my shame, rising again, I bless your name. You are my all in all. When I fall down, you pick me up. When I am dry, you fill my cup. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel. Lord, to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Taking my sin, my cross, my shame, rising again, I bless your name. You are my all in all. When I fall down, you pick me up. When I am dry, you fill my cup. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
Let's sing the chorus again.
Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
Wow, that is such a powerful song. Is Jasper passed
Jasper
out?
just kind of like popped up for a minute, and then she's going back down. She's like,
Oh my goodness.
bam, going back down.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here. Sunday is one of my favorite shows. I love Fridays, but I love that on Sundays we get to join together because of the timing with viewers all over the world. It's
powerful.
A really powerful
I envision it because I see all these computers, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I see these connections going boom, and like we're right here, and you're over here in France, and you're over here in Poland, and you're over here in the UK, and you're in Ireland, and you're in Scotland, and you're in Canada, and you're in California, and some of you want to leave there real bad, you know. You got people all over. Just know that you're connected to these people, and you're connected to the people that we're talking about. Yeah. Okay? And we're all connected because we're talking about them. We're lifting them up. We're encouraging them, which is the basis of Christianity. Amen. If you see somebody doing something good, you shout about it. If you see somebody doing something bad, you shout about it. Okay? There is no such thing as a tattletale because the Bible says what you see, what you hear about in darkness, you proclaim about it in the light because they're doing dirty, bad things to people, and we got to stop them. And your weapon is your voice. It's your little keyboard. And guys, I don't want to live in this virtual universe. It's not natural. Okay, but they did it before they had computers. They started this whole thing because without computers, they had the fake dollar. That's how they spread all these wars and all this craziness. Before we could just take, get on a boat and take a month or two and you could come over here to America. And we could go over there and we would share our stories with friends. And now it just ain't safe, Jack.
Take a minute before we sign off here, and I want to see, and I love doing this, but
where are you at?
Where are you guys at? Leave it in the comment section.
What state you in? What country you in? What hemisphere you in?
Britt Baza says, we love you girls in England and in the UK. We love our UK viewers as well. You all know that. Let's see. So we're going to be back here on Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our weekly roundup. The studio update is that I actually am really enjoying working on it. Yesterday I was able to get Kansas's pegboard all up, and I painted it, and because I had to move it from one side of the basement to the other side and reorganize all the hooks and hang everything up. And so today I have a really strong feeling that I'm going to get everything moved out of Kansas's wood shop into his wood shop and completely set up there, and start with a fresh, clean slate in the studio. And what do we want to make the studio as? What do we want it to look like? That sort of thing. So I'm super excited about that. So that's
and I'm working on our new table.
It's gonna be a
Kansas
desk.
has a desk that's an old antique
radio cabinet,
and I am stripping it. I ran into a couple walls last night stripping mahogany. Not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. It doesn't want to come off. But I'm going to make it happen.
But we'll have
stain it a nice red, and I'm excited about that.
Bar height stools that we can either... So the TV behind us will be dropped down some so that you'll get more of a natural... The camera has to be up as high as it is so that you get the whole full background of the television. So in the basement, it's going to be dropped down. It'll be directly behind us. So it'll be a more natural visual, whether we're sitting in the chairs or whether we're standing. So I'm really excited about... what's going to happen, and thank you for a generous donation from Eric that's going to help make some of that possible too. So I wanted to do a thank you and a God bless you for that.
You can have a brick in the wall.
You can have a brick in the wall, with Eric's name on it. Let's see. Phoenix, America says bluntly blonde. I think she meant Arizona, that's right, but it is America, so it's better to shout the country for maybe other people that don't know Phoenix is in America. Let's see. Jerry Langford says, thank you ladies from the UK. You're our sisters and brothers, and we will get there in the end like we always have done. Maya says Louisiana. Applemark says Knoxville, Tennessee, US of A. Deb Wood says Fort Worth, Texas. Let's see. Sorry, when I scroll these comments, they go out of whack here. Trying to keep going here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay, there are not very many other people that have shouted. There are several of you watching. You need to be shouting out where you're from. The studio does not need... Oh, yeah, it does. I read George Soros. You know where my mind is. Yes, we have the St. George flag. We just need to get it out. That's not a bad idea to hang it up, you know, we could hang an American flag and a St. George flag and any other flag. I think people send us a Polish flag. Don't we have a Polish flag too? I'll have to dig them out and see.
Well, what we'll try to do is we'll probably display, like, this is all a display of everything that everyone has sent us. So we'll try to, like, put, like, something up once a week and, like, display one item.
What I'm probably going to be doing is buying a bunch of shelving brackets and putting up a bunch of shelves in the studio for everything that everybody sent us.
Cool. The background.
Britt Baza says Essex. Surrey, England from Drink Your Milk. Okay, that cannot be. Is that a real place? Tata Aria? Forgive me if I don't know. Unless you're just literally saying goodbye. Ta-ta. Let's see. Wiltshire, England, says Stuart the Brit. California, deep state enemy territory, says Brian Robinson. Surrey, England. Oh, Drink Your Milk. Did I say that one? Rhonda Ford, Nebraska. Hot Retarded Chicks. That screen name cracks me up every time I read it. From Chicago. They say Essex. Jack Russell says Hampshire. We've got Glasgow, Scotland.
Yay, from Scotland!
Gotta love the Scottish.
Yay!
Applemark Once Viz says, Michelle, get a world map and put a pin in it for every Resistance Chicks member. That's not a bad idea.
Oh, that's fun.
Birmingham, West Midlands, UK. St. Mark the Evangelist says,
you're going to have like a bunch of concentrated right there in the UK.
I know, we
so
are.
Fun. That's such a good idea. Maybe we're going to make that happen in the I had one.
Wiltshire. Thank you, Britt Boz. It's pronounced Wiltshire.
I want to get some people from Africa watching, because you know what? Seriously, guys, just like that politician said, we're for Africa and Africans.
Yeah.
We want to make Africa great again as well.
Razor Kings AS. Is that a place? Says Jack Russell. Sanhar says Michigan.
Awesome.
All right, you guys. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth, and they're banning all conspiracy content on YouTube and whatever. Georgia, USA watching, says Clarence Gull II. Glad to have Georgia here. But you guys, it is so much fun to have worldwide a family that we can commune with every Sunday. So we're going to see you back on Friday and on Sunday. We have a P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio, 45150. If you want to send us your letters, we will read them on air.
Or a Polish hussar.
Or a Polish hussar.
See, I had seen this as a kid, but I had no idea what they were. And they also said, like, they told you, like, 5 different historical Polish movies. So now I have been polarized in Polish history, and I'm so excited to know Polish
I've been
history.
Polarized. That's pretty good.
So many Poles in America. Skis. All those skis.
Pole skis. Yeah.
All those skis. I got to tell you, we still have this
that other box of this chocolate. Before we went live, because we ate the other box already, Leah said, Michelle, eat that because I don't want to.
It's one of the best chocolates I've ever had in my entire life.
If you can find this somewhere, get you some. Go and get you some. Okay?
Those Polskis know how to do chocolate. Let's just put it that way. I don't think they have any rules like the Brits do yet on like amount of sugar and calories yet. They're just like, because they're just like, no. They're all real thin anyway.
Yeah, it's thin and wafery.
But I don't think it's no, it is. It's a light chocolate.
It's rich, but it's light and it's super.
But I don't think it's because it's the law like it is in Britain.
Uh-uh.
There's a law for everything in Britain nowadays.
Gotcha.
Gotta combat that childhood obesity.
Okay. Thank you, Brian Robinson. Don't forget to sign up to our backup channel, Resistance Chicks, on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We're everywhere. We're on Freezaki. We're on BitChute. We're on Minds. Patriot Gallery has us everywhere.
I'm shadow banned again. I've been shadow banned for about another month. I was like open. I found how freeing it was and how wonderful it was for like a short period.
For you to put something up and other people to be able to see it?
Yeah, it was
because
so
we
exciting.
Literally are at the stage where if we leave a comment on someone else's post, no one sees it.
It depends.
It's almost just like that. Here she goes. Here goes this doggy outside by herself.
If it's a conservative, you might see it. If they follow me back, then people do see it.
Right.
Like BitChute, like a BitChute, like I comment on BitChute, that everyone sees that. And finally, I'm like, oh, look at all those likes and comments.
Yeah.
I'm only going to comment on people that follow me again, because other people can see it.
Exactly. All right, you guys. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And we'll see you back. Oh, and probably is not a word. This week I will be doing a Bible study. I know last week I said that I was going to, but that didn't exactly happen. So this week I will. So stay tuned for that, and it will be on our Mass Faith 3 channel. That's where you will find that. So, all right. Good night, guys. God bless.
I was cold all alone. No place